So welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining us for taking care of yourself as a leader. I am going to be presenting to you and just to give you a sense of who I am in case you've never met me before. I've never had the chance to meet you. I am currently the pastor of the District 3, which is Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, and the Clifton Family Church. And before that, I was working as the director of the Blessing and Family Ministry for 6 years, which I was incredibly pleased to pass on to Yenna. It was time for me to move on. That was actually me taking care of myself at that time, actually, to move on into the role that I'm in now as a pastor of District 3 and Clifton Family Church. And I definitely enjoy what I do. It's really fulfilling, but of course it has its challenges, and I have learned how important it is to take good care of myself as a leader, and not just in this last few years spending actually a year and a half doing the pastoring, but definitely in the 6 years that I was at the BFM. It became actually essential for me to take care of myself well. Otherwise, I discovered I couldn't invest the way that was necessary for what that ministry was asking for. And I know for many that is the case, right? You are investing in the ministries or the areas that you feel called to. But if you've ever been in the situation where you were giving and giving and giving, but you came to a certain point and you thought, okay, either I have to change something or I have to quit, then you are in good company here, I believe. Because I imagine that there are many that have felt the way you do. You are not alone in that. I think no matter how much you enjoy what you do and you're fulfilled by it and it's making a difference, there can often be that time, that moment, or even many moments where you feel like it is stretching you beyond what you're capable of. And so in the breakout today, I just want to invite you to be okay with wherever you are at right now in relation to your role that you're serving in or the work that you're being called to in ministry and as a leader. At least for this afternoon, I just give you permission to acknowledge whatever feelings come up, whatever thoughts come up, wherever you're at right now. I am welcoming you in that state. Okay? I'm welcoming you just as you are. You don't have to be anything else other than who you are, and you can bring all the feelings and all the thoughts you have with you into this session. This will be an interactive session. You don't have to speak or chat, type anything in the chat if you would rather not, but I do hope you will feel free and comfortable to express as you like. This is being recorded, so you of course want to keep that in mind that others will come back and listen to this. So just share as much or as little as you feel comfortable and make this an experience for you. I wanted to start with this. In our community, we hear a lot about living for the sake of others. I think we hear it so much, it's probably ingrained in our DNA at this point, to live for the sake of others. And it's absolutely a wonderful concept. It's an incredible lifestyle to live, to really be mindful of the other and what others need and how to care for other people, to be sensitive to their needs, their wants, to support them in their growth and development. All of these different aspects of living for the sake of others is very powerful. However, I want to emphasize the first word of the phrase, living. We tend to overlook the living, and sometimes I think we find ourselves dying for the sake of others, and we may not even realize that we are dying, and maybe dying may sound strong, maybe sometimes we're suffering for the sake of others, or we're, sacrificing for the sake of others, which is that one's a little, a little bit understandable. But when it gets close to the dying, that's, I think, where we want to check in with ourselves and give permission to ourselves to care for me, to care for myself and what's going on here. And in fact, oftentimes when we do that, we can live more for the sake of others. That has been my experience, hands down, that when I do a good job to honor myself, to really take care of, my heart, my body, my soul, I find I actually have more to give and more that I can share, more that I can be more sensitive to others. I can do more than I think I'm capable of, but I have to take that time to also care for myself. It's very, very critical. This is a quote that I really love from True Mother. We should deeply realize that everyone is a precious being born through the sacred workings of the universe. That's from Mother of Peace 51. So oftentimes, I think as leaders, you're very concerned about the members that are in your care, or perhaps, as a Tribe Messiah, you're concerned about those that you're reaching out to. Maybe if in your families, you're concerned about, your children, your spouse, you're thinking about other people. I don't want you to forget that you are precious. Mm-hmm. You are precious. You are valuable. You are a divine son and daughter of God. And just as much as God wants you to love and care for others, God wants you to do that for you. For you, because you are God's precious son or daughter, and God loves you deeply, cherishes you incredibly, and you deserve love and care and goodness and all of what you would want others to have. God wants that for you too. And it's really important we don't forget that. Before I move to the next step, I promised this would be interactive. So I want to just take a moment and invite everyone to type into the chat or just speak it out loud. What brought you here today? Why did you come to this breakout? Taking care of yourself as a leader. Just, it could be maybe a quick phrase. I want to just take a few minutes for this. What brought you here to this breakout? Beryl Green is saying validation. Oh, maybe that was from before. Yes, if you do want to turn your camera on, that's great. If you want to keep it off, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
Diane
I typed it in because, sometimes this is so, but because you're always thinking of living for the sake of others, you really feel guilty about paying attention to yourself, even though you know it is so, you say you're supposed to, but do you really believe it and want to do it? So you come to this to get, so that you can feel empowered with other people feeling the same way, and to hear what you have to share. Because if you want to bring joy to somebody else, you need to have joy. I know that, but then why do you feel guilty when you're spending time to take care of you rather than take care of others?
Right. So, yeah. Thank you, Beryl. Appreciate that. And a few people typing into the chat as well. Lawrence Mock is mentioning to receive greater responsibility. And Shizuka, I realized myself and so many leaders don't take care of themselves and their families.
Oh, yeah.
And Karina Mendez, from the beginning that I saw that option, I felt called because I most of the time find myself at the point of burnout. And then it's really hard for me to find energy again. You are probably not alone in that, Karina. I think others here are experiencing. I won't make anybody raise their hand on that, who's on the point of burnout. But I'm sure at least some of us, if we're not there now, we've been there at some point. And Justin's mentioning, I felt like this was the breakout room that was not a natural choice for me. So I thought probably I needed it. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for challenging yourself. For anybody who knew that this might not be so comfortable, but I think I need to go here. And Shinobu Shinobu, I hope I said that right, is expressing that to balance between the public mission and the family life, which is really critical. Yeah, thank you all for sharing those different things. Okay. So we have been reminded of our value. Each one of us is precious. We are worth investing into. And okay, so in case you're wondering, taking care of myself, is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it. It is important. You are worth it in particular. You are worth it. You are worth the time to take a break, to do something that nourishes you, to spend some time with your family, even if that means saying no to something public. It is all actually critical and important to being able to take care of yourself as a leader. Okay, so what do we see here? This is how many of us end up burning out because our tank goes to empty. We don't actually have the fuel inside of us to do what we're doing, but we push ourselves. If we think of our, if we're an engine, we're pushing that engine so far that at some point we just can't take it anymore. If a car runs out of gas, it can go on empty for a little bit, but eventually it's just going to stop and it won't go. Now, hopefully nobody gets there or has gotten there before, but maybe you have, and you know what that feels like, and you know how that is. For me, in my life, probably about a year into serving with the Blessing and Family Ministry, I started getting, and this was after I had my first daughter, Rose. I now have 3 children. And my daughter Rose is 6, but this was after about her first year. I was serving in ministry, and I started to get very severe headaches, really, really bad headaches, basically, debilitating migraines. And it forced me to stop. I was in a car driving to a workshop, and I had to stop the car and I had to turn around and go home because I couldn't drive anymore. And for me, there couldn't have been a clearer signal. Okay, I've pushed myself too far. I have been giving too much, and I haven't been taking proper care of myself. And I have to do something about this. I have to change something. But it's not always as clear as that. It's not always as clear. It's not always clear as the E sign on the tank here. There can be there's other things that can happen to kind of indicate to us that maybe we're not taking enough time. We're not doing as much as we should to care for ourselves. Can you just take a minute and type some of those things in the chat that you have either experienced as like an indicator? Okay, I need to do more to care for myself. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. What are some of the signs that you've experienced that are indicating to you, okay, it's time for me to care for myself better? Something's off, something's wrong. Shizka, you're mouthing, you wanna unmute?
No, I'm just kind of talking to myself, thinking it through.
See, this is the funny thing. So many of us, we don't even know. Like, we know, we know. I often show the sign of the battery on the phone. Like for me, when my phone battery is dead, that's like my signal. Okay, my phone is dead. Am I dead? I often use that as a sign. Okay, phone is checking in. How about Crescentia? How am I doing? How's my battery doing? Do I need to recharge my batteries? I kind of use that as a sign. And then I kind of like maybe start breathing and realizing, okay, is my body tense? Am I feeling, I get tense in my shoulders and my neck, which is why I was getting those headaches in the beginning of my ministry, because I hadn't learned that especially in stressful situations, I kind of have to relax myself, right? I have to pull my shoulders down, pull my head up. slow down my breathing, because our physical body is a manifestation of what's going on inside of us. And we can push ourselves. We can push ourselves a lot. And especially because we have such a desire to give and to serve, we can do a lot of pushing. But our body will start to give us signs that something's off. And you may feel it in certain places. In a few minutes, I'm going to have us do a meditation. And we can tune in to what's going on. Sometimes, you know, you'll just start crying for no reason. Or maybe you get angry. You know, maybe your spouse or your child does something that's not even that big of a deal, but all of a sudden you're yelling and they're like, they've done the worst thing in the world. That could be a sign. That could be a sign. And I see that we've got a few here coming in. Easily, yep, angry with family members, that's mentioned by Shinobu. Annoyed and angry, also mentioned by Lawrence. Justin, when I start to retreat from being with people, I start feeling like I don't want to be with people. I can totally relate with that. Even I'm a pastor, I have to be with people all the time. And I'm just like, I hope no one calls me. I don't want anybody to call me right now. You know, I don't want to take the call, or I don't want to respond to the text message. That's usually an indicator. And I see a few people are also agreeing with Justin here. Karina's also mentioning like the shoulders being tense. You know, she feels there's like some tenseness in the body. Mary, when I don't want to open my emails, yep. When I feel like I'm not smiling or laughing enough, yep, that's a good sign. I mean, not a good sign, but a sign that something is off. And Diane, I cannot give as much as I usually. I get angry with my husband. Yeah. Yeah, all of these things and more, right? And it's for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. What is your sign that you are not being cared for as much as you need? At this point, I do want to take a minute to do some meditation. I know meditation doesn't work for everyone, but I just want to invite you to give this a try. At another point in serving in the BFM, this was after I had gone through a very traumatic experience in my life, but I still needed to continue to serve and give in my ministry. But I found myself a little bit more short-tempered. I found in some meetings it was just very hard to be there. And I went and sought out a counselor to get support, which was such a good idea. I started receiving counseling once a week, and that counselor really encouraged me to make meditation a regular practice in my life. And, you know, that idea of kind of clearing out the mind, and in meditation also you're connecting with your body. We know from True Parents' words about mind and body unity, but doing that is a real challenge. And meditation can be one practice that can help us to get in tune with our body. Also, actually getting in tune with our body is really helpful for self-care and taking care of yourself. So I just want to invite you to explore this. Really important to meditation, especially when you're getting started, is to not judge yourself. So if your mind goes in a different place, don't worry about it. If it's hard to focus on the meditation, that's okay. Give yourself permission to just experiment. And as much as you can, though, you want to become present to your body. So I'm going to ask everybody to try to relax in your chair. And we're going to close our eyes, so get relaxed. If possible, put your feet on the ground, and you want to really plant those feet into the ground. You want to really like nestle your butt into your chair, kind of relax your shoulders. You can put your hands in your lap if that's more comfortable, or on your side, just however it allows you to kind of really relax your shoulders. You want to try to pull your spine up, your head kind of towards the ceiling as much as you can. And just begin to breathe normally, in and out. And just start to focus on your breathing. Connecting to your breath.
We just had.
I apologize. Okay. Sorry, keep on breathing in and out and in and out, connecting with your breathing. We're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Keeping your mouth closed and breathing in through your nose. And then releasing that breath through your mouth. All the way out. And breathing in, letting your chest fill up with air, holding it for a few seconds, and then release all that air. If it helps, you can say breathing in, and just in your head, breathing out. Shortening it to in, and out. Just relaxing. There's nowhere else you need to be except for here. This is time just for you. Continue breathing normally. Connecting to your breath. Now I want to ask you to begin as you exhale to release anything that you may be holding on to. That's not serving you right now. Also, I want to invite you to place your hands on your chest, on your heart. You can place one hand or two. I just want you to connect to your heart center. And as you feel your heartbeat, breathing in and out. Something might come up. A thought, a feeling, maybe even an expectation about how you're supposed to feel as you're doing this. Just let that go. You can say, I release it. You might even visualize a heart, your heart, your inner self, connecting to your true self. We're going to wake up this part of ourselves called our heart chakra. I just start to rub your heart, or you can gently tap your heart. You can make small circular motions, but just connect to that heart center, that core of your being. Breathing in through your nose and releasing it out through your mouth. Now I want you to imagine a green sphere of light in that area, in your heart center. Any shade of green but a green light, sphere of light. Imagine this light is pulsing, growing, bigger and bigger. The light may start to move, may get brighter, might get bigger. Meditate on this light. Continuing to breathe in and out, becoming calmer and more relaxed. And I want you to ask yourself, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? Now, as you breathe, see if something comes to you. It could be a word, a sound, a song, an image, a color, a feeling, or just an intuition. What do you need? And just embrace that. If it's something you can do right now, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do that. We're communicating with ourselves. What do I need? Be with you, a divine being. You may feel some warmth or some energy building up in your chest. Allow that energy to fill you up, strengthen you. Claim that energy. Claim that feeling. We're going to focus on our breathing as we bring this meditation to a close. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in and out. And in and out. Slowly open your eyes, coming back into the space. If you have a piece of paper handy, I just want to, or if you want to type it on your computer, if anything came to you during the meditation, take a minute to jot that down or connect with that. If you feel comfortable, if you like, if you want to put something into the chat, something that came up for you, how that was, if that was challenging, if that was helpful, you can feel free to share that. So this kind of meditative practice, you can do it in so many different ways. That particular meditation was a heart chakra meditation. And the heart chakra is focused on connecting and cultivating joy and self-love and compassion. And this kind of, it actually helps you to kind of connect to the energy vortex that's within you. And it can open you up to wisdom. It can open you up to love. It can open you up to the divine energy, the divine being that's within you. But there's all different kinds of meditation. Sometimes you're dealing with anger. Sometimes you're dealing with sadness. Sometimes, you know, you're dealing with a feeling of, am I making a difference? And whatever is coming up for you as you're serving and things that you need, you can use meditation, or you can do many different types of activities that can be helpful. Okay, I want to also bring us back to this idea of fueling up. Everybody fuels themselves in a different way. We all have to fill up our tank. You know, if you want to be able to go, if you want to be able to make the calls, to spend time with people, then you're going to have to take time to have the energy inside of yourself. And for everybody, this is different. It can look a little bit different. Not everybody gets energized the same way. For some, it might be, this was something I wanted to share about burnout. If you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized and exhausted, it is best for the sake of everyone to withdraw and restore yourself. We all need this. This is from the Dalai Lama. So even the most incredibly giving and saintly people, no matter how incredible a giver you may be, everybody deserves and at times needs to just take a step back and take some time for themselves. Now, ideally, you get into a routine of this kind of care for oneself, and then it doesn't have to happen in the emergency state. That it becomes just like a natural part. That's, for me, that's where it's at right now. I've realized it's almost like breathing. Like I have to breathe, you know, breathe in and breathe out. And I have to take that time to care. So let's meditate on this one, or just explore this together. What fuels you? So when you're realizing you're kind of feeling low energy, or it's getting harder to serve or care or lead other people, what have you found that helps you to get energy, that helps you to feel you know, self-love, that helps you to feel more confident, that helps you to feel stronger, you know, that helps your physical body feel healthier? What helps you in those situations? And I want to just invite you to type that into the chat. Maybe give yourself a minute to think about it. And I'll go ahead and share what fuels me. I am a nature person, so I love being outside. Wintertime is tough because it's not as fun to be outside when it's really cold and there's not as much sunshine. But when it is nice enough, and even when it's cold, I go out in the snow. I like the feeling, you know, I like feeling the sun on my face. I like feeling the cold, you know, crunch of the snow or the crunch of the leaves, you know, seeing the beautiful atmosphere. I connect with God. I feel God's love, you know, in the environment that I'm in. And I think I breathe more when I'm outside. So that's probably part of it. We all, especially those of us who are, you know, giving a lot, you know, breathing in and out just in and of itself can be healthy. So I also, most of the time I go with my kids. So then I get the extra added bonus of time with my kids, quality time with my kids, quality time with my husband. But also I'm a standard girl in this way. I like bubble baths and chocolate. So I just need, you know, to do a little bit of indulgence sometimes, you know, just have a nice sweet treat at the end of the day. take a relaxing bubble bath, a long, luxurious bath. Sometimes I have to shut and lock the bathroom door if my kids are around so that it's just me time. Putting on some music, just listening to lovely music. I have some essential oils that I like. Sometimes I just, just a scent can relax me or put me into a better mood. Those are just a few of the things that I like to do. And I do see we've got some ideas here. Diane is saying sports and music. Beryl is saying nature and quiet so I can meditate. She's got ice cream. Nice. Yes, if you want to get me chocolate for my birthday, I will be very, very happy to receive it. My husband knows well how he can always get some brownie points by giving me some brownies. Kohwa is mentioning dancing. Dancing's awesome. Great way to get energy up. Music, Mary is mentioning music. We've got Justin, talking to someone that I feel close to. Prayer, walking, listening to music, singing. Lawrence Mock, exercising is awesome. Any kind of exercise that works for you. Sometimes it's fun to exercise with others. Sometimes you just want to exercise by yourself. Yep, family day with 0 distractions or places to be. Turning off the cell phone, right? Just making it a time for you or your family. Watching a good movie, a lovely movie. I watched a really, really funny movie a couple days ago, and I'm still chuckling about it. I'll just be in a meeting and all of a sudden I'll remember a scene and it'll just make me laugh. And all of a sudden the meeting's better. Coming to America. I don't know if it's everybody's cup of tea, but I loved it. So watching a funny movie, sometimes you want to watch a sad movie. Yes, it's Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. It's I guess you could call it a sequel, kind of. Yeah, it was a sequel to the previous, I think it was Coming to America. Yeah, Coming to America. But yeah, sometimes it's funny, but we need to cry, so we need a sad movie where we can just get tears out. Sometimes we need to laugh. Sometimes we need like a war movie to kind of get us into the mood of like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to give more. Mary, I saw you raising your hand, so go ahead and share.
Yeah, that's Coming to America too, right? The new one?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about it. I haven't seen it.
Anybody else want to mention some of the things you do to help fuel you?
Can I say something?
Who's that, Beryl? Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. Because you talk about the movies. To be honest, you talk about the kind of movies you like. That's true. If I'm feeling like, sometimes you like to watch a movie where good wins in the end, you I like a detective movie or something like that. And you feel like it's like, goodness is vindicated, because you see evil going, and this is the life we live. Every day we see that in our everyday life. So when you watch a movie and the outcome is so good, you feel so good. Then another time, I want something that I can just laugh. And the next time, I may watch a movie that is so much sadness, you cry, but still good wins out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's good to. Movies. Yeah, me too. And it's good to kind of tune into that. We can and figure it out as we go. What's going to work for us in a particular moment. What works one day might not work for us another time. And that's okay, right? It's good to experiment too, to see what works for you. And sometimes it's also asking others for what we need. I had to learn that it wasn't selfish to ask my husband for some time to myself. If even when I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm giving so much into my ministry or I'm leading, and I'm not giving enough time to him. But actually, when I took that time for myself, I realized I had more to give to him too, in addition to my ministry and in addition to everything else. We kind of have to balance. It's a challenge, but it's important to balance it out in terms of our giving. Choosing joy. This is something I really want to emphasize. We do have to make sacrifices, of course. We do have to, if you're, in leadership, for sure, there's always sacrifices that need to be made, but you don't have to do that miserably. You don't have to do this may sound funny, but I can't tell you how many I've seen that just like plow forward for the sake of the will. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to give. I have to take care of everybody because they need me, because it's important, you know, because God needs me. And yes, that is good. That is all good. But notice and think about it. Who do you enjoy being around more? People who are serving for the sake of the will that are miserable with a frown on their face, or people who are laughing about the, you know, the silliness of life, or kind of relaxed? I mean, maybe you appreciate both. You understand, okay, this person's giving themselves sacrificially for the sake of something greater. But if you really are honest with yourself, you're more comfortable around somebody who's happy and giving, right? It's a lot more comfortable. So you actually make other people comfortable. You make other people feel at ease, and you also give them permission to be loved and be cared for and care for themselves when you choose to do that too. And sometimes that actually means that you and I have to get better at saying no. Sometimes it is a kindness to say no. And in fact, it's important to say no. Everybody has a right to ask you to help and to do whatever it is that they would need your help with. But that doesn't mean that you're obligated to say yes. You are absolutely have my permission, if not, you know, the divine permission to say no when it's better to say no for you. And when you have to say no, you can keep it simple. You don't need to lie. You don't need to make excuses. You don't have to explain yourself. You can just simply say, no, sorry, I'm not able to do that at this time. And you might get pushed or pressed, but you can say that's all I'm going to say. And it's okay. It is okay to say no. It's actually especially important to say no when you are over capacity, when you're already doing too much. If you say yes, you're probably not going to be able to do that thing as well as you would like, or as well as it needs to be done. And it might be better, even if it takes time for that person who's asked you to do that thing or that thing that needs to be done, even if it takes time to find someone else for it to be done, when that person's found and they're the right person to do it and they have the time and the energy to do it, it's going to be done well. If you do it just because nobody else is doing it or because you feel you're supposed to, but you're not really happy in it, it's not going to have the same kind of success. Does that make sense? This is so critical because I can't tell you, I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in so many, that the pressure to say yes creates more problems than saying no. So everybody unmute yourself for a minute, and all together with a loud chorus, we are going to say the word no really loudly, okay?
Okay.
3, everybody unmute yourself, unmute, and I'm gonna stop the share. Here we go, so we can see each other. Exercise ready. Okay, get yourself, get yourself. Here we go. Pump yourself up. 3, 2, 1. No! Okay, I didn't hear everybody. No, no, I don't want to do that thing. No, I'm not gonna say yes.
No.
No, that's right. You got it.
No.
Ooh.
I said no.
No, 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 no. Okay, how are we feeling? Feeling a little bit better? Sometimes we need to say no, and that's okay. That's okay. Because by saying no, you're also saying yes to investing more of yourself into the thing that you really enjoy and the thing that you really want to give to. And and more of yourself is going to be in that because you've said no to something else that you don't really need to do. And that's not necessarily what you want to do. So it's important to have joy. Also, I forgot to mention it earlier, so I just wanted to mention it again, because still, even though we know it's good to take time for ourselves, to do things that fuel us up, self-care. Still, we might, I don't know, have some shame around it or guilt around it. I just want to remind everyone that while True Father was alive, he went fishing a lot. And he did make it a condition for the sake of the greater good. He would oftentimes go in the boat and, be making some kind of condition, but he also loved to fish. And so when he would go out on the boat, he was recharging himself, right? He was getting his energy up so that he could do what he needed to do for others. Sometimes he'd go with others, sometimes he'd go by himself. And, he'd pray and he'd meditate, but that was his time. And our true mother, I have been with her a few times now, before or after a program. You know what true mother likes to do? Shop. She loves to shop. And so that brings her joy. And she loves to shop with other people. She likes to buy clothes for other people. She bought me clothing. And I cherish these pieces of clothing from True Mother. So that's how she feels herself. Of course, she gives of herself all the time, but she does something she loves. And that gives her more energy to do for others. I love the comments. Yeah, so it's okay to embrace what you love. And of course, actually, those things that you love, you can bring those into your ministry. And as you bring the things that bring you joy, those can also bring even more fruit to the work that you're doing, right? It can actually be something that enhances your ministry or enhances your relationships with other people that you're investing into, because you're bringing something of yourself. We are pretty much at the end of the session here, but I did want to just kind of open it up for anyone to make a final comment about this topic of taking care of yourself as a leader. We can just kind of wrap it up with a kind of a closing round if anybody wants to mention something that was helpful today.
I just want to say real quick is I think it's good and healthy that us as leaders hear that it's okay to take care of ourselves, because I don't think we hear it enough. And I think that it's nice to hear that you do have options. You can and you should want to, and we should have more sessions like that. So thank you, Crescentia.
You're welcome. Actually, as I was preparing for this, there was so many things that were coming to me. I realized I'm going to have to do a day retreat sometime. And I'll do it, I can do it virtually, and I can even send people supplies ahead of time. Normally, if I got everybody together, I'd have all the supplies in place and I'd set up the environment. But in this age, I can even give you a checklist. You can go shopping, and we can do a whole day retreat of just self-care. So that's coming someday in the future. Hopefully not too long from now. Anyone else want to mention something?
I really like the meditation. I like the meditation, Crescentia. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Mary. Do you want to just say quickly if something came up for you during that time?
I somehow, the green light helped me a lot. Today I was talking to a sister who said the green light's really good for healing. And then you mentioned the green light, and that helped.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one or two persons more. Koa, go ahead, Koa. Oh, 1 second, Beryl. Let's hear from Koa.
You go ahead, Auntie. Okay.
She wants you to go, Koa.
Okay. I was just gonna say, when I saw the title of this lesson, that in itself helped me. I just like 2 days ago, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to that, and then I just started doing stuff around the house that I had been putting off because I felt I had so much other stuff to do. So just the title itself helped me. So ooh. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Even having to run this session all week, I'm like, I better take care of myself this week. I can't preach it if I'm not doing it, right? So yeah, that's important. It's really important. Actually, on that note, I did want to invite everyone to take a minute and pull up the calendar that you use, whether it's a digital calendar, a calendar on your phone, planner pad. Take out your calendar. And sometime in the next week, okay, not month, week, I want you to look at your calendar and schedule in me time. Okay, me time. So this is going to be personal care for Anne Marie, personal care for Shinobu, personal care for Ryan, me time, appointment with me, nobody else, just me. And you can decide what it is that you're going to do in that time if you like. But that's your homework from this breakout. Take some me time in the next week. And make sure you tell anybody who needs to know about it that you're having me time, you know, spouse, a child, a friend, your ministry team. There's an appointment with yourself happening in this week. And I strongly encourage you to keep the tradition going and even build in more than once a week if possible, even once a day or more, whatever works for you. Each of us is different. Okay, raise your hand if you have decided on your me time. All right, now say, I solemnly swear to take my me time this week.
I solemnly swear to take my me time.
All right, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining this